Segment is sponsored by Golden State, serving the Bay Area for 3 generations. When you succeed, we succeed. Visit GoldenStateLumber.com. Let's get to a little Wiseman watch here on the Morning Roast. Wiseman playing in another game for the Detroit Pistons, his 5th of the season for the Pistons. Let's go ahead and get the Wiseman watch cracking. All right, James Wiseman last night, 29 minutes in his 5th game with the Pistons, 3 of 5 from the floor, 0 of 1 from the three-point line, 9 rebounds, 2 assists, 4 fouls, 3 turnovers, and 7 points. For Spinoni, we found a highlight.
Hampton to Hamidou. Hamidou will drive it. Finger roll it, no. Wiseman with the rebound, saves it on the floor for Alec Burks, sends it, scores it. Great heck of a Piston play.
All right, Bally Sports Network in Detroit.
Let's go.
Wiseman, 7 points, 9 rebounds, 2 assists. The haters were out in full force yesterday with Wiseman. There's the Wiseman defenders. Look, I've moved on from James Wiseman being a member of the Golden State Warriors. I've moved on. It's a lost cause. It was a bad pick. It didn't work out. We move on. All right? It is what it is. And he may turn out to be a fine player. But it didn't cost the Warriors a championship last season, and I believe the Warriors are getting healthier and healthier, and they could go on a big run here. Now, will they miss Wiseman a year from now, 2 years from now? Maybe. Quite possibly.
What was his quote-unquote plus-minus?
He was like minus 19.
Oh, wow. Oh, man. A certain segment of fans were probably salivating at that.
People were getting cooked yesterday. It's stupid. It's absolutely stupid. He's averaging 11 and a half, nearly 12 points a game, 8 rebounds a game for the Pistons. He's shooting 59% from the floor, and people still won't be happy. They'll point to his low assist numbers, low block shot numbers, plus minus, whatever. The young man is happy. The Warriors are happy. They sent him to a destination to where he can play. He's going to play. He's healthy. It's all that matters. It's all that matters for him and for the Warriors. He's gone now. Let's stop blaming and pointing the finger at James Wiseman. He's no longer part of this organization.
Yeah, but I do think that they're going to be talking about him for a long time because, when you miss on draft picks right there or when you get rid of them and they go on to do other things, that's kind of what we do, right? I mean, look at this guy. They should have drafted him and should have drafted him. I mean, you're seeing it right now with Kuminga, right? Mm-hmm. People are saying, maybe they should have drafted somebody else other than Kuminga. It's like, I like Kuminga. I still believe that he has tremendous upside.
Yeah, no doubt. I'm glad they kept Kuminga. There's the one guy to keep. It was Jonathan Kuminga. We saw that the other night against the Portland Trailblazers as the Warriors get ready for the L.A. Clippers. A lot of baseball stuff going on, the pitch clock, and these games are moving by fast. So when baseball comes around, I'm going to be happy. I don't think we're going to be up till 10 o'clock watching the Giants play. I think we'll be in bed by 8:45, 9 o'clock with the way the pitch clock has worked so far at spring training, but you still got your detractors. You still got people complaining about it. Just got to adjust. Now, do you believe the pitch clock will be a topic of conversation all season long? Because you get some of these rules, we fixate over them early in the season, we go crazy, and then by the end of the year, you never even hear anybody talk about them. You never hear anybody talk about it. So I got a feeling that the pitch clock by summertime, everybody's going to be accustomed to it. It's not even going to be a topic anymore. It's going to be thank God baseball's got a faster pace to it.
100%. When you look at sports rules, just in general, over the last 25, 30 years, instant replay is one of the ones that's had a big impact on the game. Right? It felt like the three-point line, even though it's been in play for many, many, many years, don't you think it took till this generation, and obviously Steph Curry, to finally show its impact?
Yeah, I thought we started to see the three-point shot really. I thought it impacted college basketball a lot more than the NBA at first. Kentucky's teams in the early 90s with Rick Pitino.
But that's
Nolan
still
Richardson
20 years
in
after its innovation.
Yeah, no doubt. Late 80s, nobody was. The Warriors had a game against Sacramento where they dropped like 163 or something like that. The day they traded Mitch Richmond, and they lit the Kings up.
In regulation, they scored 160.
They shot like 4 threes.
That's incredible.
Shot like 4 threes.
Wow. Well, like I guess where I'm going with this, and like we did this in the NFL, we outlawed headhunting. You can't hit the quarterbacks like at all anywhere, and then everybody's bitching and complaining and this and the other, and we all agree like. Yeah, the league's better when the quarterbacks are healthy, right? It's there for safety, and also why? For television, because we don't want to see Josh Johnson playing in the NFC Championship game. Now, it still can happen, but you want to, hopefully keep the Mahomeses upright. Like that's the whole point. This pitch clock thing, I think this might be the most impactful, and I said this 3 weeks ago. I said to Spadoni, Lubman, we were talking about the bases and being able to throw over. I go, guys, the thing no one's talking about, I think the pitch clock is going to be the number one thing that is going to be the most positive impact to the game of Major League Baseball. Forget Little League and high school and all that crap. I'm talking about Major League Baseball. And what do the kids want to do, B? They want to mimic what the big leaguers are doing. So if they're playing at a quicker pace, it'll trickle down to the lower levels. They've been doing this, in minor league for quite some time.
Yeah. No, I like it. By the way, that game that I was highlighting with the Warriors, they scored 153 points against Sac, and they attempted 5 threes in that game. Bullen attempted 1 3. Hardaway attempted 3.
Jesus.
Rod Higgins attempted the other one.
Jesus.
They attempted 5 3. So the 3-point shot in the NBA, it took a while. Maybe the Phoenix Suns in the 90s with Dan Marley.
Yeah, that's a good one.
You started to see the
Danny
Heat.
Ainge, AC Green.
Yeah.
Remember that team? That was a fun team.
Richard Dumas.
Yeah, that was a fun team. But look, the thing that I'm really liking about the pitch clock is that at the end of the day, we want the ball in play. And what you're noticing, obviously the hitters feel like they're ahead of the pitchers. That's obvious. It's too small of a data. We'll see when we get a full month of stuff. But, it keeps the defense attentive. Nothing is worse than playing the outfield, playing second base, and God bless him. I love Camilo Duvall. Dear God, throw a pitch. He gets over there, he grabs the rosin bag, he picks it up, he throws it around, he walks around, he takes his glove off, he works the ball even though it's been mudded 15 times over. He touches his cap, he goes to his shoulder. Let's go. Toe the rubber. The guy gets in the box. Let's hit.
Yeah, I'm feeling the pitch clock a lot. I mean, like I said the other day, I fell asleep on the Dodgers Red spring training game. It was on MLB Network. First pitch was at 12 o'clock. I woke up at 1:50. That game was in the top of the 8th inning. And I said, I could get used to this.
Right?
I can get used to this. And right now, the average time of play as of yesterday was 2 hours and 39 minutes. And so you got to think there's going to be a lot of 2-hour games, 2-hour 10, 2:15. And now you may get lower scoring. I'm cool with that. I don't need 12-10. I don't need 8-7 all the time.
I actually think that it was really refreshing. I'm watching the game the other day. It was the Red Sox versus whomever. The ball got hit up the middle like 4 times, and I was like, look, a shortstop diving to his left.
Yeah, let's go.
It was like old school baseball. I actually think the offense is going to open up a little. Not a lot, but I think it'll open up a little. I think you'll see batting averages come up ever so slightly. Last year, 238, it was toward the end of the year, so I don't know what it finished at, but 238, it was the lowest league-wide batting average, and this is with DH in both leagues.
Right.
Since the 60s.
Yeah.
Like, we want to see a little more ball in play.
I want more 300 hitters.
Yeah,
I want more 5-tool players. I want more stolen bases. I want more 30-30 guys. I want guys who walk. I want guys who have a good on-base percentage. Like the fact that some of these nerds have come in and say batting average doesn't matter. Yes, it does.
It's nonsense.
Joey Gallo batting 200. How is that cool?
Yeah, it's nonsense.
It's nonsense for Joey, but especially a guy like Joey Gallo. You want to go up there and bat 200 and people tell you, it's okay. You hit 40 home runs. 1 out of 5 times or 3 out of 5 times, you strike it out.
Yeah. And not only does the ball in play help, you obviously have some of the throwing over to first. You're only allowed to do it 3 times. On the third one, if you don't pick the guy off, you automatically get second base. It will at least put a little of the cat and mouse back into the game. And because of the clock, you're going to hopefully have more guys in motion. So one of the most exciting players in the history of the game, and this is, I don't even know how you could argue this. Ricky Henderson was one of the most exciting players the game has ever seen. I don't even need to go to Ricky because he's one of the all-time greats, which is cemented. Someone like Juan Pierre, that guy hasn't existed in the last 10 years. Like, Juan Pierre was a terror on the base pass. I want to see more of that.
Well, also getting on base and having good average. Because they tried to Billy Hamilton, but he couldn't hit.
Well, yeah,
Billy Hamilton couldn't hit. He couldn't bat. He was awful.
But no one was going to give him the opportunity to try to attempt 100 steals because the 35 times that you would be out doesn't, it's bad. You don't run into outs while running the bases. It's like, come on, dude.
One thing I do like about baseball is they don't have a salary cap. And I understand Major League Baseball wants a salary cap. Tony Clark, who has the players union, basically said, we're going to fight this baby to the end. We're going to fight it. I don't think baseball needs a salary cap. I like the fact that baseball doesn't have a salary cap. I do like the CBT where you have that competitive tax threshold that people push to the line. But I'm cool with the league not having a salary cap. In Major League Baseball, you want to get these guys $30-40 million a year, to give them $30-40 million a year. You don't want to pay them? Well, guess what? You're not going to be in contention to win a lot of games. It's just the way it is. But I like that Tony Clark and the players are going to fight this, where Major League Baseball does want a salary cap. What would a salary cap even look like? That'd be wild.
Well, this isn't about the players' union versus the owners. This is about large markets versus small markets. Like Bonte, right now, let's just go to the bottom of the league. The A's, the Orioles, the Pirates, the Tampa Bay Rays, they're the outlier of success. The Reds, I would say the Guardians have been quite successful due to the division. The Royals, the Nationals, the Marlins, okay? I just named 9 teams. They're all under $80 million in total team payroll. Under $80 million. You go to the top, okay? The big time top. 300 for the Mets, 270 for the Yankees, 223 for the Phillies. Of the top 10 teams, they're all above 180. They're double plus all the lowest bottom ones. So what you have right now is an arms race, and this is not players union versus owners. This is big market owners who are spending money versus small market owners. That's what's going on right now.
And so the small market owners are never going to spend. So they want the salary cap then. They want it to be more balanced here. So you want to suppress the New York Yankees and the Phillies and the Dodgers or whatnot. And that to me is not fair, because these bottom teams have been getting welfare checks forever. And all of a sudden they get to have a slap on the wrist by saying, yeah, let's bring in a salary cap because we want it to be more competitive. Now, how about just spend a little bit more money?
Or be smarter.
Like the Pirates are going to have all these prospects play this year. And at some point in the next 3 years, these prospects are going to grow. They're going to want their money. And the Pirates, like Garrett Cole, like Andrew McCutchen,
like Brian Reynolds right now,
like Jason Bay,
Brian Reynolds right now, Bonte wants an extension.
All these guys that has come through their system, hell, even Barry Bonds in the 90s, they're going to just walk. How's that on the big market teams for wanting to fish these guys out? How about the small market teams pony up and keep their players?
And remember, guys, during the lockout, they were discussing a potential salary floor for these teams. And I was like, as an A's fan, thank God, dude, make these guys spend at least $100 million. Come on. Well, seriously?
So, but here's where we're at right now. Like, you've got some of the large market teams. I've been listing all the ones at the top. Then you've got teams like the Cardinals and the Red Sox, and they're looking at teams like the Mets, and they're going, you're making us look bad. You're making us look bad. Now, the guy who owns the Red Sox owns a bunch of other sports teams with John something or other. I forget.
Henry.
Thank you. He owns a bunch of other teams, and, like, Red Sox fans are losing their minds. Dude, you literally sold Mookie Betts because you couldn't afford him? What? You're the Red Sox. What? How? That's like negligence, right? So you're talking about the Pirates right now, B. Like, the Giants are in this weird spot where they're kind of in between both of these. I still believe them to be a big spender because they're 13th overall right now in baseball. But if you look at how they've allocated their funds, it's all 1, 2, and at most 3-year deals on the entire roster.
Yeah, I like that. If they're not going to get the big fish and you're going to spend, at least you could get out of these contracts within the next 2 to 3 years and be able to get back into free agency. The Oakland A's, $40 million payroll is just, I'm just looking at the numbers.
It's just disgusting.
The Orioles are at $45 million, but they have a lot of young players who are going to have to pay in the next 4 years. They're doing it the right way, building through the draft, and I think they've got a lot of exciting talent on that roster. The Pirates, who I just mentioned, Tampa Bay, they've been battling year after year for the AL East. They're at $64 million, which is wild. The Ohio teams, Guardians are at 75, the Reds are at 48. Just the A's looking at $40 million. And you're an A's fan, so I get the salary floor. And the salary floor maybe being at least $80 million, $100 million. I'm cool with that because the A's should be forced to spend money. But then, if you're the A's in your organization, your front office, you can't complain about attendance when you're spending $40 million on your team.
Well, their argument, and I'm not saying this is the right one, but their argument is, well, we don't have the revenue to reflect our team spending that much. So, like, there's this thing going on right now where you saw Chris Bassett come out. Did you see this?
No.
Chris Bassett put out this long tweet about how all these teams are worth billions and billions and billions of dollars. And he's right, but that's not how it works, right? So, like, for example, when you buy a home, right? Let's say I buy a home. I'm just going to say, keep the figure simple. $1 million I bought my home for. And then a couple of years later, it's worth $2 million. that doesn't mean I have $100 million in the bank unless I refinance or sell a portion of my team to someone else. Like, just because my team is valued at that doesn't mean that my income at my job has gone up or any of those things. It just means the value of what I own has gone through the roof. So a team like the A's, for example, and I'm not saying I agree with this because the owner's worth billions of dollars, but what their argument is that, hey, yeah, our team's worth $1 billion right now, but our revenue is reflective of the $40 million that we have on salary because we don't have the kind of money coming in. And here's where I would counter, and I would say, this isn't like owning a home. This is a vanity project. When you own one of these teams, you're owning it for vanity's sake alone. You want to spend to win. You're all about your legacy.
Fisher doesn't want to win.
But that's my point. So
Fisher
I would say, sell the damn team.
Right. Yeah, Fisher doesn't care about legacy. He doesn't care about winning. He doesn't care about how his stadium looks in Oakland, California.
No integrity.
He doesn't care.
No.
He's chilling. He's got his little toy. We don't even know what he looks like.
It's ridiculous.
Don't even know what the owner looks
ridiculous. Like. But that's his argument. And I'm not saying I think it's fair because it sucks for A's fans. But his argument is, well, I don't have the revenue to reflect it, and so that way I'd be losing money, pouring more money into this team, and yada yada. Like I get all that, but like my whole thing is like, yeah, but if you sold tomorrow to someone who actually had the kind of money that could pump into the team, you have to invest into your squad.
That person who bought the A's, realistically. Would they keep the A's in Oakland at this point?
Right now,
because it feels like, say if Fisher sold, right?
Yeah.
To an owner. And if he sold to an owner, and that owner's like, okay, we're going to start off in Oakland, California. I wonder if that owner's priority would be to keep them in Oakland and build a stadium by himself.
But would they want – so like right now, there are 30 teams. They want expansion. They want to get to 32 because then you have more complete, comprehensive balance schedule.
They want to get to Vegas. They want to get back to Montreal, which is kind of wild to me.
Tennessee, Nashville's a growing market.
Portland's an option.
Say that again.
Portland's an option.
Portland's an option. So, but the point being is that they have two stadium issues right now. Tampa Bay feels like they've settled theirs. They've got their stadium. They're rocking and rolling. They just greenlit it. They bought a bunch of land. The Oakland thing's been dying on the vine. And the reason why, if I run Major League Baseball, I wouldn't want them flirting with Vegas is because I could get this huge expansion fee from Vegas. You're going to let the A's just leave for nothing when I could get, let's say, $1 billion if I wanted to start a new franchise and expansion. You pay me, the league, $1 billion, and then I spread that money out to the rest of the league. That's how the other owners are thinking. So I don't think they want Lou Wolf or Fisher or any of them to move to Vegas. That's what I believe.
And they've been sniffing around Vegas for quite some time. You hear reports every single week about them being in Vegas looking for a site. So they got to get something done. How many years can the A's go where last year they say they averaged 9,000 fans a game, but it was more like 2? And then this year, you're going to basically get the same thing where 2,000 fans are at the game and there's nobody there. How many years can they go through that?
Well, it's not just that. Like, that's bad.
That's bad.
But it's also no one's watching. And you have no corporate money coming in. So it's not just the...
No, it's not just attendance. It's revenue. It's everything.
Like
it's parking, it's food, it's television ratings, as you mentioned. NBC California is struggling right now playing those A's games. Struggling.
Why would anyone want to partner up with them from a corporate level? You don't even know if they're going to be here.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
That's
like
tough.
it's ridiculous. I mean, think of how difficult the Giants have had right now in terms of coming off of the success that they've had with the stadium that they have, with the salary that they have, and we're talking about them gaining traction. Whew. I don't know. I'm telling you, my heart goes out to A's fans.
Yeah, no, it sucks for them. It really does suck for them. They have no hope whatsoever.
But you really think John Fisher, like John Fisher right now, they go, okay, you have to spend a minimum of $100 million.
He'd probably...
What player? I know money talks, Joe. What player in free agency is like, sign me up for that spot?
Nobody wants.
There was a minor leaguer traded for Matt Olson a year ago, and I felt so bad. The minor league's like, oh no, I'm leaving the Braves.
I'm leaving the Braves and going to that
Christian
place.
Pache. He's probably going to get counter traded. So,
but remember when he said, what was his exact sentiment?
No, he's like he said, I think when I found out I was leaving the Braves to go to the Oakland A's, I was like sad or something like that.
Yeah, it was.
And then he's like, and then he went back. He's like, I didn't mean to phrase it like that. But yeah, he's just like,
the NFLPA had these rankings of teams in terms of weight rooms, travel, practice facilities, locker rooms, or whatnot. The Niners were 7th on that list.
This is a players poll.
This is a players poll. 1,300 players. NFLPA released it yesterday. 1,300 players were polled about the best facilities, travel, practice locker rooms, all that stuff, nutrition, and so the Niners ranked 7th. the Vikings were ranked number 1. Vikings were ranked number 1.
Really?
Yeah, number 1 for their facility, practice facilities, training room,
Stadium
weight room.
is sweet.
Stadium's nice, right?
Yeah.
So I wonder if they did a poll for baseball.
Oh, that's a great question.
They did a poll for baseball because the A's facilities, the Coliseum's a dump, dude. I covered a lot of Raider games there. Been to a lot of A's games there.
I've never
Covered a
really
lot of
been
A's.
behind the scenes over there.
It's not pretty.
I've just been like as a regular
There's
fan.
one slow elevator.
Ugh.
There's nothing there. The soda machine stops working at times. The popcorn's stale.
It's very high school behind the scenes at the Coliseum. Like
If
when you're
that.
going, behind the scenes, are you going like from the press box down to like where
Right.
the dugouts and the weight room are? It feels like a high school area.
The weight room, one of the weight rooms they use as a press conference center for the visiting team. There's no room to walk. The locker rooms are super small. It's not major league. It's not up to par. It's not up to the Major League Baseball standards. And so I was just thinking about that poll yesterday as I'm reading.
That's a really good
the
question.
Raiders, they're actually moved up. The Raiders were like top 10.
They're number 3.
Number 3 after being
Wow.
27th.
They're
Yeah.
third in all these
Because their new
yeah.
facilities are really good.
Goes to, and my dad said that stadium's awesome.
Who's the worst? Oh, the Cardinals were the worst.
Washington.
Washington was the
Damn,
worst.
well,
The
that
Cardinals
doesn't
were
surprise
second
me.
worst.
They're another team looking
Cardinals
for a
are second
stadium.
worst. They said their food. Apparently they make players with the Cardinals. They get these box dinners, and it comes out of their payroll. They basically pay for their dinners at the facility.
Wow.
Those are rumors.
Do you know what I found interesting on that one?
Wow.
The family-friendly one.
I
where
love that.
I was like looking at certain teams with new stadiums. I was
Yeah.
like, which one's SoFi? I guess not very family-friendly. I was like, is it because of the high
Interesting.
price of the tickets? Do they not give them to their
interesting.
family? It's like that was interesting because that's
Yeah.
one of the best new stadiums in the league,
Yeah,
right?
yeah.
Sick stadium.
And they got grades for it. All
That's
these
a
grades
great-
for it.
I
Yeah.
love this question.
Yeah, no, they had grades for it, like B-, A-, C+, D.
If you had to guess, what would you think that the Giants are ranked? Because you obviously the A's one's easy, like dead last and everything.
Giants would probably be.
They'd be upper echelon, right? They'd be top 12.
I would say top 12.
Right?
Because I do think they're family friendly.
Oh, totally.
Their facility is top notch.
Absolutely.
Oracle Park, they're taking great care
And
of.
they rebuilt their whole spring training
No doubt.
facility.
Yeah, down in Scottsdale.
Yeah.
So you got that going on. The batting cages down at Oracle Park
Yeah.
is nice. They moved the mounds to the
Yeah.
outfield. It looks a lot better.
Well, the
I think
training-
the Giants will be top 12.
I would say there's something going on with the training if everyone has a back injury in the minor league system.
Well, that's why I was surprised to see the Niners at 7.
Well,
with all
they-
the injuries that they suffer.
They said the training
Right.
room was a B minus.
B- or C+, I
Yeah,
think.
but the trainers,
Was the A.
yeah,
A minus
so
or
there's
something like that. Yeah, it's
Something's
kinda
missing
weird.
there.
Yeah, it's kind of weird. All right, we'll do the King of the Hill.
I like that question.
King of the Hill, Western Conference Thread Edition.
You wanna do that here at 95.7 The Game?
Swerve Strickland. Yeah, I'm not. Swerve Strickland,
What jersey
8
are you
o'clock.
wearing? Wait, tell me, I didn't even
Swerve
wearing?
Strickland. Swerve Strickland. Why? Somebody asking me what shoes I'm wearing?
No, I'm looking at your. Wow, that's. I like
Oh,
that.
jersey.